Welcome back to a brand new episode of Charm City Beat. We are back on the table. Ravens absolutely demolished in South Beach. And now we head on to Minnesota. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. We are glad to have you with us tonight. And let's break it down, guys. How sweet is victory?
That's 2 wins in 5 days. Or was it 4 days? Like it was just a really short turnaround for the Ravens. And they went from
Last a second.
it's wild. They were buried in the standings, and now they were within one Steelers Colts loss from being a game back. They're still only two back, which is absolutely diabolical after what we saw through 6 games.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. Ross, how you feeling about this, bro?
No, yeah, like I said, two. It's always nice when you get the Thursday win after a Sunday win because, like Jordan said, it's two wins in 4 games, and then you get 10 days off after that. So it's like the perfect scenario there. You get the 2 wins and an extra bye. We really just had a bye, and yeah, like I said, went from last to second, two or three spots out of the playoffs in general, and yeah, offense is back, defense is clicking again. Somehow, someone found that magic switch that they flew last year. I'm glad they did it a little earlier this year. I mean, I wish they just kept it on, but we can't do that anymore. We can't have to be like, no, we suck.
And I'm sure we'll talk about it, but we also made some trades, added some players to this club, and so I feel like we found our identity, and we're fully healthy going into an absolute stretch run here that could be historic when we're finished with it.
Let's talk about that. Before we get into the game, let's talk about these trades. This shit just happened. Trade deadline just passed. We've seen guys go. We've seen guys come in. Things are looking great. Let's talk about what are some moves we made, Jordan?
Ross talked about the one with the Titans. I'll talk about the one with the Chargers that we made. I think that's still paying dividends to this day. We sent off Owe, got back Gilman, who's a safety. One-on-one trade. We got a 5th back, but that allowed us to move Kyle Hamilton up into the box. And we saw in that Miami game just how advantageous that is for us. I mean, he was everywhere. It was a Kyle Hamilton love fest on the broadcast. And he was making tackles. He was making plays. He was everywhere. And then Gilman shows up with the forced fumble early in that game, set the tone defensively after we went 5 games with 1 turnover or 6 games. So the fact that his presence and then to turn around and use that 5 for the trade that Ross is about to talk about, I just think that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and since we got Gilman, we have a defense is 13 points per game.
Yeah.
Second with
I remember me and Colleen were watching. It was either Thursday or the week before, and it was just like Yo is everywhere. Like he is literally. I had no expectation. And again, this has been my mantra this season: expect the worst, hope for the best, and it's paid off dividends for Alohi Gilman. Absolute stud.
It's a win. It's one of the rare player win-wins because Owe is in a scheme that seems to be fitting him better, and it seemed like when they traded him, both fan bases were like, oh, good luck with that. No, you want him, have fun with him. And now we're like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
That's working out quite well for us. Like Jordan said, we once again get to move Kyle back to where he is. I mean, 2 weeks in a row, he's done the same blitz play where he goes and shoves the guard 3 yards away and then still runs backwards against the quarterback. He's just running into people, just having fun, I think, at some point. So I'm going to hit that guy.
And I saw something where by doing that, the running back decides he's not going to pick him up because he's not blitzing. It's a super smart play. They broke it down. I don't remember where they broke it down. It might have been on ESPN. So, it cost him the sack, but he would have been blocked up anyway. So it allowed him to get to the quarterback and get around that running back, and I think it's a smart play by a smart player.
And as you talk about getting to the quarterback, the Ravens did acquire outside linebacker DeMont Jones from the Titans for a 2026 conditional 5th. Could be a 4th in one of those weird ones. So again, I guess we could trade these 5th-round picks because I got numbers that show that in recent years they haven't been that great. Despite as what we want to think, a lot of them haven't been great. But we got a pass rusher. He's had a lot of sacks recently. It seems like he could help. I mean, it's not necessarily the defensive line spot I was looking at.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I heard he can play inside. He plays kind of everywhere. So maybe we're just going more for fast rushing line and not big body.
Well, I mean, I agree with this pick because, again, I do think the D-line showed – they impressed me. I didn't know anything about a lot of those guys, a lot of new names up front, but they impressed me. And I think I think Eric DeCosta looked at that and said, okay, we can hold off on this. We got a utility guy. We can interchange him where we need him and just keep it running. I don't think our D-line is going to be a problem. I think next year, depending on how Matabike goes, that's going to be a very priority pick. I wouldn't even be surprised if it was a first-round pick, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's good insight, Gerald. I really think that they've got some big. They're losing a lot of guys, to be honest. Like, I'm not sure if Roquan's going to be back. I don't know what's going to happen with the 20 or so dudes. Marlon Humphrey. I think this was such a win now year, and it's kind of demoralizing to see how it started. But to your point, Matabuke was never going to be not part of that equation. So to face the fact that he may not be in purple and black ever again, that's a pill to swallow. So they did a good job of at least figuring out a way to get more people in and out of that line, rotationally speaking. And, they're healthy. So I think that's the two big takeaways from this trade deadline.
Yeah, 100%. I think, again, outside of the Roquan year, to be honest, they're really – I mean, again, like we said, Gilman has paid dividend. I think the front office has done enough. Based on what we saw Thursday, based on what we saw last week with even Lamar Jackson out, the Ravens look like a solid team. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, their first game back, named AFC Player of the Week, 18 for 23 for 204 yards, 4 touchdowns. God damn. 5 carries for 14 yards. Didn't run too much, didn't have to. Man took a month off and is still outpacing Josh Allen. What?
Yep.
Who's MVP? Yeah, what?
It was kind of wild, too. If the first play, he underthrows Bateman, or the third down play there, and that's absolute rust. Because at the end of the game, he was just spinning it everywhere, making players miss, getting out of sacks that I think even Huntley would have been pulled down with. And I think that it's just really great to see the difference between Cooper Rush and Huntley, and then the difference between Huntley and Lamar. It's like going from a Ford Tempest to a Ford Mustang to a Cobra or something. I don't know, like a Mercedes. It's like unbelievable, the difference in these players. And I suck at car analogies, but I mean, it's obviously there. I mean, the game was over from the jump. I mean, it was close, but it just felt like the Ravens had control of the whole game. And it was obvious.
You could see the rust early. I mean, like I said, but he shook it. I mean, but there's also, I think he is now tied for the most games with 4 touchdowns and 5 incomplete passes. He's like stacking list of where it is. And like I said, I mean, the defense, like I said, they gave up 6 points. They definitely played a little bend but not break in this game. Because, I mean, they did where they stopped them where they supposed to. 0 for 3 in the red zone. Right? One was a missed field goal because the Dolphins fans couldn't fill their own stadium, so they had to go silent count, and we made them jump off sides.
That's so crazy.
False start in their own stadium. Even 2 was like, yeah, they're loud. You couldn't even tell the game was over halfway through because it still sounded loud because there's all Raven fans there.
But I'll say this. Most teams are going to give up yards in the NFL in these days. But the way the Ravens have responded in the red zone the last 3 games, particularly the Rams, the Bears, and the Dolphins, gives me a lot of hope moving forward that they've sort of righted the ship. Like, they're allowing – teams are going to move the football in the NFL. It's just what it is. Between the athletes on the field and the way the rules have changed to favor offenses and just the penalties and everything. But just the fact that they don't bend once they get in there lately, I do not think that is an anomaly. I do think that's more a result of the fact they brought in Gilman. They've got Hamilton. Everyone's gelling a little more. I think Stark's playing a whole lot better. We've seen the maturation of Mike Green the last 2 games, really since the bye week. I love where the Ravens are defensively. Vikings will be a tremendous test on Sunday. That team can really put some points on the board.
They are. They are a fantastic offense that we have.
Depends on what J.J. McCarthy what do we get? Because he was good one game. Next game he wasn't that great. Then he goes and misses a month. He's played like 5 games. We don't know. He's still technically a rookie,
Mhm.
and we know even despite however defense is, how does the Ravens and rookie quarterback usually go?
Well, like I said last week, again, it's going to be real interesting because the Ravens, up until about a couple of games ago, really haven't struck a lot of fears in most offensive hearts. Now, J.J. McCarthy being very young, we're going to see what happens because, again, this is the NFL. He is a professional. But I do want to talk more about the offense from Thursday because, again, you have something that's happening this week that is so evident. I mean, we've talked about it over the last 8 years. Lamar Jackson's effect to make everybody better. Derrick Henry, who I kind of fell into a little bit of a slump, so much of a slump, I traded him off my fantasy football team, dead ass. He came back this week, 19 carries for 119 yards. He's only 23 yards away from passing Pro Bowler, Hall of Fame, Thurman Thomas, who's at 1274. Jesus, these numbers are insane. And he's only 69 yards to surpass Franco Harris. So, I mean, again, Lamar Jackson is making everybody better because, again, you have to defend the run from Lamar. He only ran for 14 yards. Derrick Henry ran for 119 because we are able to do that to defense.
19 carries at that.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
I do think he wasn't in the Bills game when I think Henry had his best game, potentially as a Raven, but Pat Ricard showed up the last two games, and I think the impact there is evident. He was making blocks against the Miami Dolphins he was opening up holes, and he was blocking everybody. And the Vikings have – sorry to stick to the Vikings game, but they have had trouble guarding the heavy packages, and the Ravens can put 3 tight ends on the field and Patrick Ricard. I'm curious how they respond to this because it did not work for Miami. Like the Ravens in the red zone, you saw Charlie Cole wide open. You can't defend the run and the stumble. Yeah,
he pretended like he was going to fall.
I'm just glad that we figured out our red zone woes offensively because that's been a big issue all year.
Now I will say, as much as I love Pancake, but Chubb, he got a little. There was a couple times where I'm like, oh, I've never seen Pancake get pushed backwards.
He's shaking the rush off too, though. I think
I get it, but I mean, there were times where Bradley Chubb. I mean, it's Bradley Chubb. I get it. He's not good, but I mean, I saw him get something like, oh, Pancake. Wow, that's not the Pancake I know, but no, yeah, and also like we all pointed out, the roll to the left finally right side worked, and you know why? Because fuck had Bateman on the other side of the goddamn field, so someone like, oh wait, we can't have everyone in this stupid corner.
Yes. I will say, to me, when that play finally fucking worked, I think I jumped out of my skin to finally that play work for Mark Andrews. And let's give a round of applause to Mark Andrews. Absolutely phenomenal. 2 catches.
He's a late season tight end now. Let's just face facts. He's not going to do anything the first few weeks of the year, and then it'll be like, game time, let's go.
Yep, that's how it has been.
The past 2 years.
Him and Lamar have connected for 48 touchdowns, which ranks them 5th most touchdowns between a quarterback and tight end in NFL history, behind Breeze and Graham, Mahomes and Kelsey, Rivers and Gates, Brady and Gronk, and 3rd most touchdowns between quarterback pass catcher combo since 2018, behind Rodgers and Adams, and of course Mahomes and Kelsey. These are legendary names. Again, I will say Mark Andrews is not going anywhere. I think when you start talking like that, again, him and Lamar have a relationship that I don't think it's broken. So it's probably looking like, unless they can figure out how to keep all 3 tight ends,
I think Charlie Kohler has cashed himself a check these past couple games.
Yeah. I could see.
I mean, I can see us keeping 2 and be like, sorry, Charlie.
Comp picks, baby. Comp picks.
There you go. I look at Charlie, though, honestly, more of like a Nick Boyle. Like,
yes.
Gets an occasional touchdown. Very Nick Boyle. He's like a funny
Nick Boyle didn't get his first touchdown for like 18 games.
Me and Joe were at that game. It was amazing.
The pride of University of Delaware.
I was so happy
because we covered Delaware, the Cecil Wig. So we were like heavily invested in him. And so to have him score that touchdown was awesome.
I heard the game. It was great.
That was crazy.
I just so happened to look up that he hadn't had a touchdown.
Wow.
Oh, he's got a touchdown.
And that was, I think, also with Hayden Hurst, right? And that was with Mark Andrews. So I think that the Ravens have always really had three really good, at least when they've had three dynamic tight ends and one that people forget about, like Charlie Kolar. You're starting, and he's been doing that his entire time with the Ravens, just being wide open. Remember the Houston Texans game last year? He had a really long catch because no one remembered.
He got the fat white guy.
Yeah, he's preseason too.
He's sneaky good. You can't control. See, when the Ravens have this offense, this is how crazy the offense is. Even if we had three tight ends, somewhere we have Zay Flowers or Bateman interchangeably, even sometimes at the same time. That's a very hard offense to defend.
You know, like you said, our half our tight ends aren't really even tight ends. They just are positioned as they're tight end by name.
Yeah, exactly.
This is where they line up. You stand there.
Yeah. So I mean, we talked a little bit about the defense and just the effect of Gilman. The emergence of Malachi Starks. Mike Green has been on a fucking tear since the bye week. But overall, the Ravens since week 6 has allowed 13 points per game, tying the Chiefs for the second fewest over that span. Crazy that both the Chiefs and the Ravens have wild, records that normally these are abnormal records that they're dealing with. But they're both playing very good. I mean, their defense is solid. It just is what it is. But yeah, I mean, this defense turning up at the right time, and this seems to be, again, we see this year after year, Ravens' MO. And maybe it could be the fact they're not playing a preseason. That argument can be made. Maybe it's this, that, or the other. But the Ravens usually catch wind around week 6, week 5. I don't know why. It just seems like it is what it is. We survive a couple of wins early in the season, and then we just go on a tear throughout. I see us on pace to do that same exact thing.
Yeah, did it in 2019. Also, I remember they started the year a little bit rocky, lost 2 games in a row. The Browns were involved in that. And they turned around and they won their last however many games en route to the 1 seed. And so I think that's something that's not going to happen this year. They're not getting the 1 seed. But I think everyone's been tracking this. I think they're still favored to win the AFC North, which is also diabolical. But I think it's more because of how bad the AFC North is. The Steelers beating the Colts, I think, was a bit of a stick in the wheel of the bike, so to say. But I do think that will they beat the Chargers on Sunday? I don't know. Are they going to beat the Bills? I don't think so. Will they beat the Lions? I doubt it. There's enough tough games for Pittsburgh left, plus head-to-head with the Ravens. Also the Bengals, that I think the Ravens have a legitimate shot, even with a loss on Sunday to Minnesota.
I mean, even they beat the Colts. I mean, by 7, but yet they had 6 turnovers.
Yeah, there's a lot.
By 7.
There's a lot to unpack there. Agreed. The foundation is not sound.
Yeah, like I said, they won, right? But you think you turn 6 turnovers and 5 whatever sacks, you're going to win by more than 7.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, gotta love it. Special teams, not too much. Tyler didn't attempt a field goal from 4-on-4 for extra points, and Jordan Stout. Jesus,
this year.
He is the MVP of the team, in my opinion, through the season. Ross, what are your thoughts about Jordan Stout? I think he's been phenomenal.
No, it's great. Here. Yeah, he has 25 punts this year. 51.4 average and a long of 64, which just had 12 punts inside the 20. 12 out of 25 inside the 20.
He's also clutching up, though. He did the one punt he had against the Bears, put him at the 1, led to the pick. Last week he did it again against the Dolphins, led to the interception. And I just think that you're seeing allegedly turnover, the fumble. And I just think it's when he's punting the ball inside the 20 also. Huge moments in the game.
And I got people like Tylan Wallace, who has basically been completely forgot about in the receiving game because, I mean, we have so many weapons. He's catching balls to the 2. As I said, Josh Allen has the arm punt, while Jordan Stout has the punt pass. The perfect pass is Tylan Wallace to the 1. Thanks. They're down in it. Like I said, should have had another one at the 1, but Trenton Simpson touched the goal line by a centimeter.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. And I think Loop's starting to kick the ball a lot better.
Mhm.
The only
kickoffs,
the
our,
only
our, our
missing
gunners
pieces
are
are
getting the job done.
recover is the kickoff coverage because Loop is getting the kicks there now.
Yeah,
I will say his first one was a little short and gave him a running start. I was like, I don't like that one.
it's a 40-yard line to start the game.
But yeah, at that point I'm like, just kick it out of bounds. Don't even risk it. But yeah, the kick coverage is well, and someone else pointed out, I love we have a punt returner that is not scared to field the ball inside the 10 and turn it.
Yep.
Not even just when I saw him, like, okay, he didn't call a fair catch. I was just so used to being a fair catch, I didn't think he was going to run. Oh, yeah, go. Okay, we got something there.
Ooh, man. Yeah, I don't know. Our special teams turning up. I mean, again, things are starting to fall into place, and it's not. You don't want to get complacent because, again, in my mind, the Ravens are still in playoff mode. You're one game and done. Anything could fucking happen right now. So
I
saw
something. A win where 64 something percent to make the playoffs. They lose, it drops like 30 something percent.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a tall mountain to climb.
That's did it to themselves.
I will say
that in this hole.
I will say it gives me confidence again, as we talked about earlier. The injury report looks decent. Nothing really has changed, honestly.
No, it was basically perfect attendance still technically today because Grandpa Stanley needed a day off.
Didn't we all?
That's like, honestly, that's. I mean, yeah, Humphrey's on there with a finger, but he was full, so he's still bragging. I mean, it's just like, hey, Stanley, let's just go sit in your rocking chair over there and.
This is a healthy, fresh veterans defense going up against some rookie in JJ McCarthy on Sunday that I think he's seen a lot of teams. I don't think he's seen a lot of teams that are able to put a Kyle Hamilton in the box with a Roquan Smith and a Humphrey in the secondary with, a guy like Ben Roy on the edge. Like, I just feel like there's enough guys that have been in the league for a long time. I think they have the ability to run a lot of different looks because it's a very smart older team. That could be the difference in the ability on third down and red zone is how do the Vikings react to our blitzes, because I think we can get home against quarterbacks like this. We did against Caleb Williams, and I think McCarthy's in the same sort of boat type of thing.
One thing I did forget I mentioned with the offense. I think they said this is the first time that the Ravens and Lamar will be facing Brian Flores since the infamous zero blitz game.
Yep. That's a huge understory here. Is no team's been blitzing more than the Minnesota Vikings this year. At least in those kind of blitzes where the zero blitz and all that stuff. They're the most aggressive team on third down blitzing. It's how does Lamar Jackson respond? He's grown so much since that 2020 game or 2021 game, and I think that Derrick Henry's going to help too.
They're going to help. We have a way better offensive scheme. It's not Greg Roman. Hey, you two receivers, go hold hands over at the 10-yard line. And not run to the middle of the field that's, empty. Go over there.
And Lamar Jackson's grown so much as a passer in that time period.
Yeah, he gets the ball out faster. Not to mention, I just think, like you said, his quarterback intelligence has gone up tenfold. He's at a place where he is in the conversation, with the greats, with, those legends. A sure ballot first, Hall of Famer without a doubt. So it is going to be very interesting. I am going to be curious to see how the play calling goes. Again, this is Todd Monken's offense. It's a little bit different. I don't think they're going to be able to blitz as much, to be honest, because, again, we have so many people to cover. Again, if you blitz everybody, okay, we're just going to throw it over your head or run it with Henry. It's that simple.
Yeah, I think the Browns was a great example of how you could do all of that and he'll just thump it over your head. Like you can blitz everyone and crowd the line to stop Henry. The Vikings haven't seen Lamar Jackson in a very long time. I don't know, have they ever seen Henry and Lamar? I mean, together, definitely not. They don't have seen Henry. I just think it's like a beast that they're just not used to. That I think Miami at least had a little bit of experience, and even just seeing them on tape versus the Patriots or versus the Jets, like enough complementary teams that they've seen, they know how to play. I think it could be a long day for the Vikings defense if Lamar gets going, and he's already starting to home.
I say if they're going to want to blitz, this could be a big game for both Mitchell and Hill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both Mitchell and Hill could have big games if they wanted blitzes. They hit a little dump. Okay, go. It's over there now.
Yep. And Zay Flowers.
Zay going on some short stuff.
Isaiah Likely.
Tight ends again.
Again, and then hey, D-Hop, he's another.
Still got D-Hop out there. Just maybe catch one pass. It's important in a game. I mean, we didn't need him last week, so he was just there.
And we have Pat Ricard who can sit back and take the blocker on.
Pick up some of that.
That's big time.
They're gonna, I could see him playing on the right side all day because fa la 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 whatever the fuck.
La 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 la.
Now, I will say, Todd Monken finally did talk about Emory Jones.
Oh,
he was finally mentioned again by someone other than Harbaugh saying he might not hurt. Who knows what injury? Blah blah blah. So that could be in the works. Who knows? See what happens. They didn't go get an offensive lineman. And so they clearly liked what they have.
And it's been 10 days. I think the Ravens could have used the bye. I mean, we'll see what they've got up their sleeve, but they probably had 2 bye week plans in place. And let's get through these 2 games, and then let's really turn up the heat after the bye against the Miami Dolphins. Lamar being healthy and practicing for 10 days is huge after not practicing prior to the Miami game.
Yeah.
The best part.
Yeah. No, for real. I'm excited. Again, it was such a shit 4 weeks that I forgot how awesome this felt.
Yeah, I forgot what a win is. But I forgot what consecutive wins feels like.
Yeah, that's the wild part. It's we're 2 wins in. I'm feeling what the fuck do Browns fans feel like?
We can do it.
It's no.
I do think Minnesota's that last team that if we beat them, I think everyone's going to be feeling great. I think Minnesota is just good enough. They have some quality wins on their schedule. After this, it's the Jets and the Browns and the Bengals and the Steelers. And until we play maybe the Patriots or Packers, it's a lot of bad football teams.
Yeah.
So this is a tough road game against an NFC team that's facing – they're in must-win too, looking at the NFC North, looking at the NFC playoff picture. We're going to get the best.
No, like I said, it's playoffs from here on out. Getting past this one is going to be a great buffer to say. I don't think the journey's over, but it becomes a buffer where it's all right, we've solidified a good base here. 3 good games. Let's keep building on that. Let's go one after one. I mean, they still have the Jets. They still have the Steelers twice. They have the Bengals on Thanksgiving.
Browns.
And they basically have the whole AFC North still. They played one AFC North game. They play the rest of them in the span of 5 weeks.
Huge.
They so bottom stacked our AFC North schedule this year. It's kind of weird.
It's almost as if they expected it to come down to the wire, which it's absolutely going to.
It is.
Thanksgiving against the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Yeah, they thought it was going down the wire, but they definitely didn't think it was going to be old man Aaron Rodgers leading the charge with the Steelers and old man Joe Flacco leading the charge with the Bengals.
Hey, any given Sunday, you got the Steelers right now 5-3, the Ravens 3-5 at number 2, Bengals are 3-6. After they've been on an offensive tear, the Bengals.
Well, you give Flacco weapons, he can do stuff. Just their defense is some trash.
He's ever had his whole entire career.
That's exactly. He's loving T. Higgins. I don't know if he don't like Jamar Chase recently. He's been loving T. Higgins though.
Talk about Ben They'll break. I'm looking forward to our Thanksgiving conversation pregame because that's a team. Just looking ahead, I think they're going to be able to move the football at will for the most part. It's how do we respond in the red zone when they can't run around and make big Hail Mary passes and stuff, and Joe Flacco can't run around. If we can get a couple stops, we'll win that football game because they're not stopping us.
Flacco and run around at this day and age is not go in the same sentence.
Yeah, I was about to say, the way offensive line is built,
I'm kind of surprised he's still standing.
We'll see.
He got hurt a little bit.
Yeah, he's banged up. We'll see.
He's banged up. He's old. Gonna put some Ben Gay on and go sit in the tub.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know. What a season you got. I'm looking at the AFC playoff picture here. Now follow me here. It is screaming 2005 to
Let's
2000.
say it. We're back in the good old days of football, where you
Right?
can hit people.
You got the Colts at number 1, 7-2. Wow, that's
Manning.
Patriots 7-2.
I'm Brady.
Denver Steelers at 4. You got the Bills at 5, Chargers at 6. I mean, it literally looks like just old school football. It's kind of crazy. I just want the Ravens to go in there and disrupt that shit. Fuck it.
No, they're 2 back. They're 10th.
They're not far. They're not.
I mean, they're I think 10th by a tiebreaker because they lost the Texans.
There's a world where we host a playoff game against the Patriots, against the Bills or the Chiefs in Baltimore. There's a scenario where the Chiefs don't even make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs are literally, they're
getting hot. They're scared.
They're getting hot. Denver won again. The Chargers beat them already. They're probably going to beat Pittsburgh. I feel like they are just doing too little, too late.
But Denver, right? Denver won, but God, did they look ugly?
They're stacking W's. They're stacking them.
Yeah, I'll give it to them. Like I said, they're stacking. But I mean,
they're like the Patriots. I don't actually think they're any good, but and the Colts, same thing. I don't actually think any of those teams will win in the playoffs. I really don't have any faith in any of them. I think when you get these teams with actual quarterbacks, it's going to show in the playoffs.
You know what this season is for the Patriots? Now, again, Drake he might turn out to be the next Tom Brady. I mean, he definitely is built like him. It looks like an old school Patriots offense, which is no surprise because you have Mike Vrabel as the head coach. But I am wondering how sustainable this is.
And if they fall behind, can they come? Because the old Lamar narrative, like I feel like he definitely took that apart. I don't trust any of these teams to come back from behind. We saw the Colts against Pittsburgh. They struggled to even move the football against the defense. That's all that comes to play in the playoffs. Is can you force turnovers and score? And they're not going to be able to. I don't think any of them will. I think the wild card teams and the Ravens, the shitty mid-level teams right now are the ones that are actually threats. And I think Vegas shows that too.
Yeah. Oh, man. How is it already almost playoffs? Like, how are we talking? Like, this is crazy. Like, time flies. Deadass. But this is fun. I love it. On to other news. Thoughts and prayers that do go out to the family and friends of Marshawn Nealon, who passed away yesterday at the age of 24 by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. This is a reminder to anyone out there that if you're struggling, reach out because, more than likely your friends and family would rather hear from you than hear that. And it's absolutely heartbreaking. Mental health is nothing to play around with. It's something that, I know me and my family, we take seriously. I know you guys all do as well. But if you need help, just reach out. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Like I can't believe that.
Just scored a touchdown.
That's crazy.
Monday Night Football.
Yeah. It's the heartbreak of life. Jeez. But palate cleanser. Game ball does go to no other than Lamar Jackson. 18 for 23, 204 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 5 carries for 14 yards. Right to you, well deserved. I can't say enough about him. Like, again, him in the game, such a game changer for everybody else. It makes the team better. They look more solid. And when everything's running at full steam, everybody's healthy, the Ravens are the best team in the NFL. Dead ass.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you're looking at it. He's had much better performances in this. He's won this award. He's won the MVP award. But I feel like the moment was so much bigger because everyone was like, how is Lamar Jackson going to respond? How can the Ravens respond? And so in that spirit, I think it was one of his better performances. It was gritty. He obviously was rusty. He might have still been in some pain. I think he probably could have ran more. I don't think he wanted to. But he did just enough to, I guess, mobility-wise. But then he made all the throws. He made all the touchdown throws. And I just think that it's so much hope renewed is what that performance was. And I think everyone in Baltimore, big sigh of relief.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you saw at least 2 plays, breaking sacks, rolling out. Yeah, normally he's going to run. No, he broke sack, wide open receiver. Breaking this way, And guess what? You know what we got with the Charlie Cole touchdown? One of good old Lamar's no look. Got it. Let's go. So when he's doing that, he's back.
Yeah,
he loves the primetime game.
He absolutely loves primetime. That's it.
He's what
loves South Beach.
Apparently,
Apparently, this was actually bigger, more of a home game for Zay.
Yeah,
They had a shit ton of people there.
That makes sense.
I think they said that was his first game back in Florida since college, at least. So, but,
exciting. So yeah, we got the Vikings up this week. 1 p.m. game.
Yep,
that's early for them. But
it is.
1 p.m. game. It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be loud.
Oh yeah, it's going to be definitely loud. I think
they've been pumping in sound this week.
Yeah, this game is definitely favors the Ravens. Young quarterback. I think
it's going to be loud. It's going to be loud for us, not them.
Oh yeah. It's definitely going to be fucking loud.
And they got that horn up.
Yeah, they're going to blow a horn.
When they start doing that skull chant, that shit is fucking crazy, bro.
Somebody just hand Derrick Henry and shut them up.
Yeah. That's mission one is shutting the crowd up. Once we shut the crowd up, it's a wrap. It's over. Oh man. But any last thoughts before we get out of there?
Ross, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, one tidbit we got here. It's the most current franchise defeated road games regular season all time. John Harbaugh has defeated 30 teams. The only team he's missing? The Vikings.
No shit.
The only team he hasn't beat on the road, apparently, is Vikings. And he'll join Andy Reid with 31. I don't know how Belichick on here says he's missing no teams. When did he beat the Patriots?
When he was with the Browns.
I was thinking that, but you know what? I'm glad Jordan confirmed that.
That's the thing.
Because another impact is most current franchises defeated regular season all time. Harbaugh's on the list as well at 31. Shocker, the only team he hasn't beat is the Ravens.
No, he beats us all the time. It's not to be honest.
Oh, well, yeah, but they don't count those.
We probably lose the bye.
He hasn't officially beat them. He beats them internally, but, they don't.
Get out of Ravens more than anybody.
Yes, he's up there with many other coaches who has 31. Yeah. Few they haven't beat their own or random ones. Like Coward never beat the Steelers. Marvin Lewis never beat the Bengals. But yeah, so
history's on the line.
What's that?
Jordan?
I just think that this game, it's big. I think in this sense, like this testing the social media waters, I think people are still a little cautious with the Ravens nationally. I think the people who know football kind of are aware the Ravens are like a beast under the water, but I think a lot of the casual fans see that record and they still don't think. I think if we win this football game, we win 3 in a row, we move to 4-5. I think everyone's going to be like, "Oh, yeah, they're back." And then they play the Jets and the Browns. So that's where we're at, boys and girls. Looking forward to this game on Sunday. Hopefully, we can, Viking blood.
You don't want to look too far ahead, but if we can get past this game, those next couple are. The Browns are divisional games, so put that into its own little category.
Of course.
But the Jets are, the Jets. They traded.
They've been known to lose.
They traded half their defense, but we were known to lose those games. We lost to Miami when they had no wins.
We usually lose to them when we're like 4-0, not when we're 2
usually when
I feel like we have no choice but to win these.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's my thing. Like I said, the Ravens know it. The fan base knows it. And I'm just going to repeat it again. The Ravens are on do or die mode. Again, we're at currently, probably, I guess not at this point, not the worst record we've ever had. But again, we're at dire straits. I think it is still code red where they have to win out. They have to win these games because, again, the Steelers beat the Colts, which made things a little bit more interesting. They weren't supposed to beat the Colts. Well, I didn't think they were going to, but they did. So, again, the Ravens still find themselves in do or die, win or go home mode. And I think that's how they're playing. And I think that's what they're bringing to Minnesota. And I think John Harbaugh is going to get his record. I think he's going to beat his 31st team. And I think the Ravens are back up. That's really it.
And they really have to, because even if they make the playoffs, but they lose, they stumble along the way to lose to either the Patriots or the Packers, It's going to be tough for them to pull the switch once playoffs start. Magically, be that number one team again. Like I feel like they have to be the bully that they were for years. Now going forward. No ifs or buts. They just need to beat the hell out of the teams that suck and beat the teams that are good for us to actually legitimately think the team can roll into January and beat a sound team on the road.
Let's be honest. Have the Ravens ever won the Super Bowl without it being ugly?
No.
I think as you guys have mentioned many times the past few years, like we don't want the top seed, and I was like, I'm sorry, our team's too good. We can't help it. But this year, you know what?
Yeah,
we're not going to get the top seed.
Who's got it? Worse.
The highest we can go, unless the Bills and Chiefs, or mainly the Bills and all that, are starting to fall off. Is the highest we can get if they get back to the top is third. Even we tie with them, so we're not getting a top seed. So we finally get to go on, like I said, road playoff win. That's what we do. That's what the Ravens have done every Super Bowl run. They maybe get one game at home, and then bye-bye, off on the road.
So get this. If the Bills and the Chiefs are both road playoff teams, wild card teams, and then the Ravens come out and they beat like the Chargers or the Broncos as like that 4 or 5 game, the Ravens could host throughout the playoffs, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me.
I'm going to say this. We're not there yet.
No, well, we're way ahead of ourselves. Let's beat Minnesota on Sunday and maybe get 4 wins.
I get past Sunday first.
Let's get 4 wins at the end in November, please.
Like I said, we need to go start.
Talk that, but
our ugly playoff run starts now.
Gerald said enough is enough.
Yeah, we
one
got
game at a time.
Too far ahead.
Iron sharpens iron. Other John Harbaugh cliches.
Quoting Harbaugh.
Oh shit. Oh man, but yeah, 1 p.m. game, big game this weekend. Purple versus Purple, Minnesota. Very hard place to play. It's going to be exciting. We will be covering the recap next week. We'll talk about it, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned, and go Ravens. Let's do it.